Now to the Philippines, where anti-Trump protesters have been clashing with police outside the ASEAN summit meeting in Manila. It follows earlier demonstrations outside the US Embassy in Manila ahead of Trump's arrival on Sunday. Well, protesters have accused him of stoking tensions in the region. Well, following these events is Rob McBride, our correspondent in Manila. And of course, the protests have been, well, you might say, quite loud and noisy. And certainly the security services have managed to protect the delegates away from what can be seen and heard across parts of the capital.
That's right. This part of Manila, Sahel, is in a virtual state of lockdown at the moment, with thousands of security personnel deployed. The protesters we see there are held back a few kilometers away. Their water cannon was being used before to try to disperse them. It seems to be largely quiet now, although it is continuing. This was a protest that was timed to coincide with the start of this ASEAN summit. It was organized by a number of left-wing groups here who say that it is aimed against imperialism. Now, the Philippines is largely friendly towards the United States, but there are groups here who regard the US as being a colonial power who would be out in any case, although some of them, it has to be said, are particularly incensed by what they see as Trump's failure to stand up for human rights. Now, Trump is here. He is holding at the moment a long-awaited bilateral session with his Philippines counterpart, Rodrigo Duterte, and he is not expected to bring up any issues relating to this very controversial crackdown by the Philippines president on drugs trafficking here, which we have seen has resulted in thousands of lives being lost in the past year or so. Now, that has incensed people. Duterte himself has said he would not like to hear any mention by Trump of human rights issues in his country. For his part, Duterte has toned down some of his anti-American rhetoric ahead of this session. You'll remember, of course, that at one point he was calling for US troops to leave Philippine soil. Well, since the insurgency problems we've been seeing in the past few months in Marawi in southern Mindanao, when the US military basically came to the aid of the Philippines military with special forces and also specialized satellite surveillance, he does seem to have toned down some of that anti-American rhetoric. So it's going to be very interesting to see just how they get on when they emerge from this joint session. Apart from that, Trump has also been meeting with his Australian counterpart, Malcolm Turnbull, and also Shinzo Abe of Japan, when they apparently spoke about trade issues and also, more importantly, perhaps North Korea's missiles. So,
and of course, Rob, it's very important, as you say, that the US and the Philippines certainly work together. There is a very long historical tie between the two countries. And of course, with those operations in Mindanao happening in the last few months, there are pending naval exercises, are there not?
There are indeed. I mean, this is very much related to the ongoing issue of North Korea. I think top of the agenda for Trump throughout this 11-day visit throughout the Asia-Pacific region has been ways of containing North Korea's nuclear program. And he has here a very receptive audience. ASEAN has come out saying how it is alarmed at the missile program being carried on by North Korea. One of the most important ASEAN countries, Malaysia, was of course in a diplomatic spat with North Korea over the assassination of Kim Jong-un's half-brother on Malaysian soil. He very much has an audience here, and it comes at a very interesting time in the program of North Korea in development of its missiles. Tomorrow we'll see 60 days when we have not had a Korean missile launch, which has led to all sorts of speculation about what might be happening in North Korea. But as you said, there is naval exercises. The US fleet is staging exercises in the seas between Japan and Korea involving 3 of its heavyweight aircraft carriers, a kind of show of force that we haven't seen for 10 years.
Well, for the moment, we'll leave it there, Rob, and continue to join you throughout the day. Thank you.